Friends, there are only 2 days in the entire liturgical calendar. There is only 2 days in which the church's rubric specify that if a priest does give a homily, he is to give a brief homily. Today happens to be one of those days. I'm going to be obedient, which some of you is you're quite incredulous. So after Jesus institutes the new covenant in his blood, the mystery, the beauty of the Eucharist, Luke tells us this detail, what we just heard. Then going out, he went, as was his custom, to the Mount of Olives. Going out, as was his custom, he went to the Mount of Olives. It was his custom to go there. It was a familiar place that he went to rest, to be there. Why? That was the question that just swirled around my heart these last several days leading up to this Palm Sunday. And I know there isn't a direct answer in the Scriptures. There's no specifically spelled out reason why Jesus went to the Mount of Olives often. There's no specific reason given in the tradition. But I sat with that question, and I just want to share this morning with you what I heard the Lord whisper in the silence of my own prayer. I heard the Lord whisper something along these lines. I like going there because the olive press was there. The Mount of Olives, maybe you know, maybe you don't know, the Mount of Olives sits on one side of the Kidron Valley in the city of Jerusalem. And the Mount of Olives, as you probably can guess, contains a sprawling olive grove. Many of those olive trees still alive today are the descendants of the olive trees that were there in the garden at the time of Jesus. Those olive trees, they live for centuries and they kind of repropagate themselves over and over and again. So those olive trees on the Mount of Olives are the same ones that were there that witnessed Jesus' agony. Anyway, on the Mount of Olives, there's the Garden of Gethsemane, which is so named for the massive olive press that was in the middle of the garden. So the word Gethsemane means the olive press. And in my prayer, I just saw Jesus sitting there amidst the olive trees, contemplating the mystery of the press. And seeing in all of that, seeing in this like a portent, a prophecy, an icon of his own paschal mystery. Like his heart, his life, his whole mission, the precious oil, the soothing, life-giving oil, the precious juice of the fruit. It will not flow and be given unless and until the olive is first crushed and pressed. It has to be crushed. It has to be pressed. And like the full treasury of heaven's beauty and glory, like his whole mercy, healing, salvation, wholeness, all of it is stored up inside his own sacred heart. And it cannot be unleashed upon us, upon humanity, unless it too is crushed and pressed. And I think he sat there often looking at the olive press with great affinity for every one of those olives. He enters into this week not as a hapless victim, but as a willing bridegroom. He enters into this week, into the events of this week with his eyes wide open. He came to this hour. He set his face like flint, this hour in which he says, this is the hour of darkness, the hour in which evil will be unleashed upon him, the pressing, the crushing of all sinfulness will come down upon him. Like Samson, he will pull it all down upon himself. And he tells us in this great hour that he chooses to enter into. He says this at the beginning of the gospel. He says, I have eagerly desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer. I have eagerly desired. That's how we hear it in English. In the Greek, it's epithymia, epithymesa. I have desiringly desired. With great desire have I desired this. Like his heart has been aching for this moment. His heart has been aching for this moment. And friends, what he said to them at the night of the Last Supper, before he was to suffer, before the pressing and the crushing, he says to us at the start of this Holy Week, he says to you, like the bridegroom with his heart wide open, with his gaze fixed and set on you, he's saying, greatly have I desired this for you. He longs for you. Like he wants his sacrifice to find a place to be received in you. Like the one who is God from God, light from light, true God from true God, the God who needs nothing, who is self-sufficient utterly unto himself, looks at you and says, the Master has need of you. I have need of you. For what? To be a place where my love can be poured, to be a place where this sacrifice can be received, to be a place that's fertile soil, so that the seed can find fertile soil, that the gift can find fertile soil. How strange and wonderful, the one who needs nothing, who holds everything in being, he looks at you and says, I need you. At the start of this week, please slow down. Be a place where my love can be poured. I have greatly desired this, he says. He desires you. Amen.